Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Retro Achievement recap. Today, I just completed Alpha Mission. Alpha Mission is a top-down scrolling shooter that was developed by SNK back in 1987 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Really fun top-down shooter. I've had a lot of fun with this one. The achievements can be hard, but I spent a lot of time going through and doing multiple playthroughs to hopefully help you and show you some tips and tricks to make your playthrough way easier. I finished this one. I mastered it in about roughly 12 hours total playtime. I think I'll get it much faster than that because I was kind of checking on all the weaknesses of the bosses and figuring out the best path with least resistance. So I'm going to show you a playthrough of mine right now. Getting the last achievement. The last achievement I had to get was the total of 5 lives. Not necessarily the hardest achievement. I would say the hardest, probably maybe area 13. Getting 5 lives is pretty easy, but the gameplay that I'm going to go through for the 5 lives is basically what you're going to do for the entire playthrough for all the other achievements to get every single one of those. You shouldn't have to die too much in this game, actually. That if you do end up dying, it kind of can screw up your whole run. So it's more of a thing of not dying for this whole entire run. So let's get started. I'll show you the video right now and get that going, and then I'm just going to kind of walk you through what I did here. So you're just going to start out, you're playing and you're shooting like normal. You're going to use the A and B button. I usually just hold down the A and B button at once. There's going to be these letters appear. They're going to give you different power-ups. S is for speed, L is for laser, and E is for energy. So this first board, you're just going to pick up all the power-ups. Just hold down your A and B button the whole time and continuously shoot. I'm sorry about the screen flicker and the slowdown. That's just the way the game is. It kind of sucks, but that's what it is. So the hitbox on these bullets and stuff can be pretty terrible too, especially when you can't see them when they're over white things across the screen. But you're just going to go through this first board and get used to the mechanics and just kind of shoot everything. Make sure you're grabbing all the E's. The E's are your energy. Show you how to work that in a second. That what I just picked up there was a ship. It was a red ship that is one of your power-ups, and you get multiple power-ups in this game, but there's only one that's really overpowered, and is the only one you really need to use this entire game. But there are other ones that help with the gameplay. There was a K I just picked up. K, once you get all your power-ups, K will enable to you if you die. You'll start your game over again with all your power-ups. So here we are at the first boss. All these bosses are fairly easy. For this one, I would stay in the middle and shoot directly up, but another option is to select fire here, and that was, if you hit select, you can go on your screen, select that fire mode, and then it literally just torches the guy, and you don't even have to do anything. You won't even get hit there. And then I would go up and hit select again right away, and select shield. Shield is going to be your go-through for the whole entire playthrough. That's going to be what's going to keep you alive the whole game. Essentially, the way shield works is you're going to get a shield, your energy, your E, your energy is what you want to grab, and you'll get a maximum of 24 of those. Every time you get hit, you'll lose 2, and every time you pick up an E, you get 2. When you're fully maxed at 24, you don't need to pick up anymore, as you're basically at your max. But if you get hit, and then your E will go down, and you just grab more E, and that's basically your shield. So like your whole entire game, you have, by having a shield, you have essentially 12 hits that you can take throughout the 13, including your actual guy that kills you. So you want to keep your E up at all times and just go through the game and destroy everything, keeping your shield up. So those backwards Ks, don't pick those up. Any backwards letter or anything you see that's not like the opposite direction. Also C's, don't pick those up. Those are going to revert you down to your lowest settings on your weapons. So it's really terrible. Pick those up, and it even rolls over when you die. So it can really ruin a run. That's why I'm saying it's better off just not dying. This is the second boss. Second boss, you want to just keep your shield on, and he dies by missiles. I just kind of stay in the middle and let the missiles hit him. Just kind of move back and forth. You don't want to get right underneath him because he will shoot you. But you should be able to get through that with about half, your shield or more. If you're really good, you can get through it with losing no shield. The W is for warp. It's going to allow you to warp very quickly further down the board. That's just going to speed up your time of getting through the boards quicker. And in some cases, there's a couple boards where you can actually skip entire bosses. There's one warp on, I believe 3, and another one on 5. That you can skip both those bosses if you warp correctly. There I just picked up another shield upgrade. You're going to find those ship upgrades and those shield upgrades just throughout the boards. But you're just going to want to keep your eye out. Don't pick up any C's, don't pick up any backward letters. The R is going to take you back in the board like that. It's going to move you all the way back in the board. Just basically rewind you to get more points and maybe more power-ups if you need them. So what I do in this playthrough is I'm going to utilize this to get the 200 K achievement and also the 5 lives achievement, because you can just leave your shield on, go to a board, and so there's a C, an E, and a K. You don't want any of them. Don't ever pick those up. There's a question mark. Question marks are amazing. The question mark refills your E to the top. It also refills all of your ship's upgrades, and it also refills all of your additional guns, like your homing laser and your fire laser and all that. Those select screen upgrades that you use against the bosses, you're going to want to have to go in and use each one of those at least once in a playthrough. So I would just suggest just playing through, like having some fun. This boss, you just stay under him. You're going to have to use your lasers on this one. The missiles don't work on him. But when his mouth is open, basically, you're going to want to fire at him. Very, very easy boss. Probably one of the easiest bosses in the game, I think, in my opinion. Because he dies so quickly, and you're just going to be using lasers to kill that guy. So there's no reason to switch to a different weapon on that guy. You obviously can switch to fire. Fire is pretty powerful. So on this board, we're going to get... This is probably the hardest board in the entire game. It has these homing areas where it has lots of homing missiles, lots of flickering, lots of stuff going on, lots of bullets. Probably the most difficult part of the game. If you get through this part of the game, you can probably get through the rest of the game pretty easily, as long as you follow this guide. And let's go through, kill these guys. What I usually like to do is I like to go towards the front of the board and kind of take them out as fast as I can, so their homing missiles aren't bothering me. And then just make sure you're grabbing all the E right afterwards to restock up on your shield. Fairly easy to do. There's a total of 6 boards. There I just rewound. Didn't really mean to do that one there, but just to show you again how hard this board is, I guess. But you can still get through this board without losing any lives. But there's a total of 6 boards. There's 6 bosses. Like I said, you don't have to fight every single boss because there are some warps. If you are going for the 13 level achievement, you're going to have to fight the level 5 boss at some point. It won't let you warp it the second time. And so I'm going through all these and showing you all the boss fights, so you know how to do them all on this playthrough, and the easiest way to get through it. Like I said, I spent some time kind of utilizing on what the best route for this was, get all these achievements done in the fastest way possible. So this time I did that again there because I'm actually going for the high score, or the 5 guy achievement here. So you can just utilize that R again and again and again if you really want to. Getting your score up as high as you want to get extra guys and not die. So, but I found a much better location for that, and I'll show you in a minute. It's going to be on the next wave. This wave is not ideal for that. There's another question mark, so you can see that it refills your whole entire screen with all your extra upgrades. Get the question mark, so you can pick any upgrade. When you do pick an upgrade, you lose that upgrade, obviously. So if, like, I have a shield right now, I pick the shield, I go back into that screen and don't pick any upgrade or pick another upgrade, I'm losing the shield. The shield's gone, so I'm gonna have to get another shield somehow. So you're gonna have to go and farm for another upgrade. I don't know if I skipped here. That time I was like, no, I'm not doing that hard board again. And I got my shield back. So this is the what is this, the fourth boss? Fourth boss is super easy. He's like a big snake, and I just stay right in the middle and go a little bit to the left and just kind of just stay right there and just shoot your lasers up, hit him in the head, do your thing. Eventually he'll turn yellow if you hit him in the head enough times. You're just kind of aiming for his head and staying in the middle. And this works on, you're going to loop these boards over. There's only 6 total boards. So at the end, boss, you're going to just loop the board over again. And it's pretty much the same. The boss mechanics are the exact same. So that's why I'm not going to do another run of this. There's a warp that I took. So if you go up here on this board, this is the, I believe this is the 5th board. 5th board is one of the easiest in my opinion, as far as like getting points. So you're going to see me kind of hang on this board. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to speed up after this initial first part of the run through. I'm going to condense down the next about 5 minutes of repeating this because I was getting the extra guy achievement for this one. So I'm going to condense that 5 minutes down to about 15 seconds. So you guys are going to see it cruise real fast here in a couple seconds. And once I get all the achievements in my mastery, then I'm going to finish it up and show the last 2 final bosses and how to do those. And if you follow this guide, you should easily be able to do this. So here it should start to ramp up here. Second, those little guys there that spawn right after you hit R, a lot of times can actually, they're worth about 30,000. So those guys are worth a lot. So make sure you're hitting those guys if you can, if you see them. So here I'm getting right close to 200,000. Just kept repeating that and did it all in about 5 minutes, and then there you get 5 full lives. Because you get an extra guy at every 100,000. So you can see my runtime is right around 12 hours. For that, you can just keep killing these guys and grabbing that question mark right there that's on the right. Will always upgrade your shields to max. So super easy. Just make sure you don't pick up any backwards letters. The F will just destroy all the pyramids for a little while. It's a time thing, so they'll just reveal those. I skipped the warp there. That's where you can warp this guy. But I wanted to show you how to do this guy. So he's very easy to do. All these bosses are fairly easy. Just go around in a circle. Just go to the right. It's more of like a square. You go right, up, left, down, and you just keep doing that. You should be able to avoid all the bullets doing that, because this guy just teleports around the stage, so he's kind of hard to figure out where he's going to be at. So as long as you keep doing that, eventually he'll start throwing missiles at you. You'll work him down. And you can see I haven't really lost any of my shield here anyways. I'm just going around in circles and just shooting. Not really dodging too much, going around the circles. So eventually he'll get down to 1 shot. It'll be indicated by like a first explosion, usually. I think it's probably right about the next one, maybe. That takes a while. This is probably the least favorite boss out of them all. If you go, see there, he took 1 hit, and now you know that he's only got a couple more hits left until he's dead, and he's dead like that. So yeah, that's probably the worst boss, but you can skip him if you're going through the first round because you will get a warp. So then you move on to the 6th board. This one's pretty easy too. I don't think there's anything too complicated on this. There is guys that come up from the bottom that are annoying to tell. They've proven to be problems for me in the past and ruined my runs, but make sure you just keep your E topped off as much as possible going into these final guy. And these guys that come down at the top, like what they'll do is they'll come down and shoot, so I tend to like move to the right and then move to the left when they're coming down, or vice versa. These bigger guys are these just elites. They're similar to like the guys on the first few waves. They can be taken out with lasers. And these guys that hover behind, they come from behind you and they fire, so they can be really annoying. But I found if you kind of stick to the middle and then go a little bit left or a little bit right and either try to take them out or avoid their bullets over there, it makes it a lot. Keep topping off your E. And just kind of stick in the middle. You don't have to grab those side ones. A lot of those side if you look, I've played this enough times where I know where most of the are. So you can see that's a bad K. I've grabbed that bad K on accident so many times. Made a mistake doing it. So definitely don't do that. I'm also going to show you a little trick here at the end that I figured out that you do. So here I have 12E going into this. You want to make sure you have at least 8. So when I go up to here, there's 3 E's at this top here. You grab these top 2, you hit your button, and you do the black space on the select screen. It'll take you back to that area right there, and you can kind of farm those E's. Downfall of that is that you will not have a shield while you're doing this, so be careful. But once you get 24 E's, if you can get by these last couple of guys without getting hit like I did there, and just make your way to the end boss without getting hit, you have 24 E at this point. So here's what you do. You go to your thunder, which is the best weapon for this guy. You select that, and then as soon as the screen stops, you're just gonna spam B. And as soon as you spam B, you lay down the hammer of Thor on them, and you just keep doing that, and it takes 3 of those, exactly 3. They're 8 cost each, and that'll run out all your E, but it kills the guy in 3 hits. So makes the end boss super easy. You can do it legit and do the shield and do all the techniques and do all that stuff, but I found that's just the easiest way to do that boss, and it reduces the time to take on that boss and chance of dying. So then you get up here, and I would just, you gotta be a little careful because you don't have your shield. But once you get enough E from those, other boxes that you just destroyed, boom, you get your shield back, and then the game basically starts over again. It's basically the same game. There's a little variation in the enemies, like those hover guys come a little earlier, some of the other enemies come earlier, but you're basically, that's it. All the bosses are going to be the exact same patterns of formations. As long as you do that and you don't die, you should be able to get to wave 13 easily and win the game. So hope you liked the guide and you get your mastery and you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like, subscribe, or hit me up on Twitch where I'll be playing some live. But thanks for watching.